once every month, starting next month.
Starting
next week. Actually, that was a little typo.
Starting next
You read that
week.
correct.
But that's not the only new event we have. Every first Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central, we're holding a host forum on Zoom, where anyone, including our very own hosts like myself, Kim, Charlene, can attend and learn hosting tips, because I'm sure we need them. I know I do. We want to help everyone grow as the show is growing as well.
Then on the second Wednesday of the month at 11 a.m., we have a forum for anyone who wants to be a guest. We have information for all of these events on our main site called connectmedia.live. RSVP for any of these events today.
Speaking of guests and hosts, the guests and the hosts on the show are all volunteers. We're going to talk a little bit more about the volunteers later today. If you would like to be a guest or a guest host on the show, the process really is simple, and we'll teach you all of the steps. The benefits include getting in front of the camera, becoming a skilled interviewer, and best of all, promoting your business. Please contact us to get your spot on the show.
And while the Connect Show is created by volunteers, we were looking for your support to keep the show growing. Sponsorship on the Connect Show is a great way to get your business seen and support your peers. It can be a commercial, plugs in our newsletter, via social media on our website. If you're interested in being a sponsor, please contact John or Tracy at info@theconnectshow.com.
We have to thank our hosting sponsor, Expansive Workspace, where we broadcast the Connect Show out of Studio A5 live every single week at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays. It took me a minute. Expansive is a wonderful place to work, a great community to be a part of. And in addition to Expansive, we have many other local businesses that help support the Connect Show. We have to thank each and every one of them as well.
We really need to give special thanks to MKE Video, aka John Taylor. Yay!
A little extra earring swing.
He creates the show with all the video work and editing that goes on behind the scenes. John also has a new community called Mind Body Abundance that had an expo last weekend that was epic. You can see more on that link on the screen. John has a quick video to show the Mind Body Abundance world.
I've been living on a good life, living like it won't stop, giving you the best of me, but been living on a good life, living like it won't stop, giving you the best of me, but now I'm feeling like it's all gone, baby, where did it go wrong? I thought it was.
As always, we are very thankful that you have come to watch the Connect Show. If you have a topic that you think we should be discussing, please email us at ideas@theconnectshow.com.
Today, we are so excited to welcome our guest, Stephanie Oxley. Stephanie is new to the area, and we can't wait to dive into all the fun things she has going on. I've met Stephanie a few times, and she's got some fun things.
I've heard about it.
She's got some fun things, I promise. The Connect Show is better when it's interactive. So when Stephanie is up on stage today, when we're talking, interact with us, add your comments in the chat, whether you're joining us from Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. It's really easy to find us, and we will bring your comments up and add them to the conversation. It's also a great opportunity to get expert advice and to help your business grow.
Speaking of growing your business, these business owners are not just growing their businesses, but helping the community at large. So thank you again to last week's guest, Shannon Ishizaki, a book publisher who is open, encouraging, and lets the author be an active member in publishing process.
So every week we have a quote of the day, and we have a little conversation about it. So today's quote is by Jeff Bezos, and it is, "Work hard, have fun, make history." So
I'm letting her word for that first.
Ooh.
That's what I'm doing, because I know it's building in there. Do you need to let it finish building?
So yeah, when I read this, of course, my superhero inner child was like, work? Like, what the heck is that? So I think it was play hard, have fun, make a difference, and leave a legacy. So it's kind of the same thing.
It's kind of the same thing, but a little step up, a little build.
Yeah,
build
like
up on it.
my job is my joy of being. So if you're not,
There's the word war, guys. If you didn't catch it, joy of being.
yeah, that's the acronym, ANTIC for the day. But something I discovered is that 8% is the amount of people that die fulfilling their purpose.
That's so low.
8. So 92
92
people
per-
die with their music in them.
Wow.
That's a sad statistic.
Yeah, so I've shifted my mission of a stupid good world is to create an increase in the 8% to be double digits.
I think you're making a huge impact with it too. Just the things that I've seen, things you've pulled out of me just alone in the last just under a year that we've known each other also, which I think is super cool and really rewarding just for me. So if that helps you at all, I mean, I think it's really cool. I'm finding myself working harder right now so that I can have more fun and really, really make history and make an impact so that maybe I'm going to hope a few months down the road, I don't have to work so hard. You know, you got to put the work in. And if you're not going to put the work in, is it really, are you making an impact? Are you making history? Or are you just doing something everyone else has already done? Because it's not always easy, but I hope it's fun while it's hard.
I had a coach who mentioned she had a whole event on work hard, play hard. And the other thing that comes to mind when I'm thinking about this is I just recently read and I'm rereading, actually listening to the book 10X is Easier Than 2X. And they talk about the very first thing you put on your calendar is your free time, like your free days, and that you should take a minimum of 150 free days a year. And I really like, you know, it may be cliche, but when we talk about enjoying the journey, we have to keep in mind that, or I always have to remind myself that there is not better than here. And if I'm miserable here and working so hard and grinding, first of all, that's going to come across to my clients. And number two, I'm going to be miserable along the way. And when I, you know, get wherever it is I think I'm going, I'm not going to be any happier than I am now. So if I can generate that joy and happiness and that excitement and fun and along the way, then that's going to be even better when I get there, you know. Yeah, Hollywood's a prime example of getting everything at once. And how many of those people besides Tom Hanks like didn't like self-implode?
Really, especially
at some
if they
some
start
point.
to get super young.
Yeah,
because they
I mean,
don't know anything different.
Yeah, it's a when we want everything at once, it's a high pressure fight or flight, go into stress. And when I look at the trajectory of what's surfaced in my purpose, I'm creating new food, I'm drawing, I'm meeting with people and just dropping some clicks of what's happened through my process. And the amount of people last weekend that I talked to that were just like, oh my God, that's so profound. Because there's a tool along every road. Now I'm creating these maps, right? And so wherever you start is your set point, and you go and you say you meet somebody when you leave here.
Yeah.
That's a road. You put the road on your map, and then that dot connects to something you did and you experienced in your past. And now that road grows. So it's just a constant willingness to shift, a constant willingness to not worry about forgoing the plan. Like, life is going to send you the most amazing things. You can play all day. You have such a fun intro to what you do. And it's such a need, because it's those people at the high levels that need that shift, because nobody can relate to them, and their employees are all going rogue. And I mean, I used to shop at this grocery store, and every time I went in, after 3 or 4 times there, people were giving me things because the company just wasn't taking care of them. And then they ended up selling twice. And then the employees came in one day and read in the Wall Street Business Journal, they were closed. They were
Ouch.
there to clearance everything off for the next month.
Ouch.
I was in Brunswick, Maine, and there was a coffee shop there that I just absolutely loved. I was there 2 years ago in November, 2 years ago, probably this week, and loved the coffee shop. Just the vibe was so wonderful. I love local coffee shops. We were just talking. And I found out when I went back there, I'm like, oh, can we go to this coffee shop? And she says, oh, it closed. They were demanding things of their employees and demanding certain work hours and demanding certain days that they had to be there, and being very controlling and demanding that in that small business, the employees actually went on strike.
They took all the fun out of the work.
They took all the fun out of it, and they had to close because no one would come to work.
Back, yeah, they
Yeah, if
took
you
all the
look
fun out of it.
Yeah,
so.
look at work as your personal playtime.
Because not everybody, I mean, we talk about this and the whole show is really focused on, we're showing other smaller entrepreneurs or growing entrepreneurs, but not everybody is an entrepreneur. And it's okay to be an employee also and still want to grow as a person and as an individual. It's okay. You don't have to want to own your own business. That's just fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But taking it and making sure not only you're having fun, but your employees are having fun too.
And that's so often not the case, which is why I do what I do.
And that's why we have the Daddies in the world and the Marys and right, exactly. Do you have, did we do an interview this week, Miss Charlene, or were you too busy with NBA Crazy Expo?
No, I was not.
No, I was not.
So this is the first video where the guest has already been on the show. So if you caught her segment, her name's Angelique Meadow. She lives in Knoxville, Tennessee. She has traveled the world. She had her own design show on HGTV and a couple others, and was married to the Adonis, and realized none of it was what it was cut out to be. And so her evolution of change was aborting mission on this high profile, lots of money, and going within. And when she did, she now has a company called Will You Grow? And it challenges people to go within and heal and play more. And just an amazing story of giving up all the money and status for the 8%.
Amazing. Let's catch that video.
So this is Angelique Meadow.
My name is Angelique Meadow. I'm the founder of Will You and WillYouGrow.com, an inspirational multimedia company that provides personal growth, adventure travel, and tips and tools for unconditional love. My evolution of change began when I was a young child and realized that I had what I didn't know at the time were called psychic abilities. I was able to see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and experience things that did and did not have bodies, as well as being able to experience what other people were experiencing in their own bodies. So I could tell if they had medical issues. I could tell how they were feeling. Often I could also tell how they thought and things that came across their mind and they did not speak. In that learning curve when I was a young child, I realized that as I spoke my truth, that adults seemed very hesitant, sometimes frustrated, and definitely were not interested in what I had to say. In that, now that I'm an adult, I realize that's called gaslighting. And I work with people to be able to find out what it is that they truly think, feel, need, and then help them to recognize that they have the power to do those things. And I've done that for myself. We all have limitations, whether they're addictions of any sort, compulsive behaviors, as they're also often called, things that keep us back from what it could be our best experience of ourself in life. I've overcome overeating addictions. I used to eat a whole box of donuts before I realized that what I really wanted wasn't donuts, it was love. But I didn't know how to give love to myself. So then that brought me on a long journey to realize the different things that I needed and what I wanted and what made me feel special and loved. I've also overcome the addiction to workaholism. That was even more difficult than food because I was gaining my self-worth through my work. And the most difficult of all of those for me to overcome was codependency. If you're not familiar with what that is, I highly recommend you look it up. Codependency is an addiction to taking care of others at the expense of ourselves. It's an amount of suffering that actually makes our physical health, mental health, our emotional health all go downhill. And we somehow feel like we're unable to fix that because the people around us still need care. So in overcoming all of those issues, I have been very pleased to say that I've been given the gift and ability to see what people need to know about themselves so they can overcome these and any other type of addiction or compulsive behavior. You can meet with me by Zoom. You can see this beautiful background, which is not fake. It's a real background. This is where I live here in Tennessee. You're welcome to come and join me at my home office. And I also take nature adventures where we help to release some of the blockages and patterns through my gifts and psychic abilities. And I also take world travel tours. Very exciting, beautiful opportunities. We've got lots of adventures coming up over the year. We've got Costa Rica coming up next June. We take several adventures out into the Smoky Mountains where I live here, the nation's most traveled and visited park, where we take hikes. We also are planning on taking trips to Borneo as well as Africa. So I encourage you to look me up, willyougrow.com and Angelique Meadow. And for now, I send you off, always with love, from Angelique.
Thank you, Charlene. That was fabulous.
Yeah,
That was
she's
just
amazing.
wonderful.
She's just amazing.
Yeah, it sounds like she's got a lot of great events, retreats.
Oh yeah, she just connected to a woman who books retreats in Costa Rica. The retreat has not opened yet. It's about to open in December. It's like $25,000 for a 4-day retreat. You check in, you get your own butler. And she's been all over the world. And literally, when she came back, called me and said, there isn't one thing they can improve on in this place.
That's goals right
Yeah,
there, you guys.
it's-
That is goals for me. Let me tell you.
Craziness.
I can't wait.
That's
Fun.
awesome.
Play.
That's awesome. And today we are transitioning into our question of the day, very similar to the quote, which is, do you schedule enough play into your week, your month, your year? And then a follow-up question is, how can you add more fun to your schedule?
I like how you answered this kind of from the beginning without answering the question, but actually physically putting it into your calendar. I don't schedule enough play. I mean, I think I need like a set amount of time every day to just be like, no, this is Kim time. Whatever that might be, this is Kim time. Sorry, kiddos, mom's on Kim time. You know, sorry world, phones off, whatever. And it maybe only needs to be 10, 20 minutes. I don't think it has to be hours and hours and hours of your day. I just did the opposite. And because of an intensive that I'm in, a 6-week course, I scheduled 108 minutes per day of RGA, I can't say the words.
Revenue generating activity.
Thank you. Every single morning, but I didn't think about scheduling that play in there. 108 solid minutes. Everyone is going away unless you are part of my RGA strategy. Just for that 108 minutes, there's a reason behind all that, which I don't need to get into. But some of you, I'm sure, know exactly. I'm sure Charlene knows right off the top of her head. But anyways, and you put that all in and add it up like what you said. And I think maybe you can expand more on it. I need to learn.
No, it's so critical because our brain needs that break. Our brain needs that off time. Our brain needs that creativity, that time to be expansive. And oftentimes, how many of you get ideas in the shower?
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay. Or when you're just ready to go to sleep. You know, because your body is finally in a relaxed mode. You're not in the stress mode of do. You let yourself relax and your brain goes into a completely different mode. Yeah. And so that is oftentimes when ideas are going to come, when inspiration is going to come, when intuition is going to hit. Some people do it when they're running. Some people, for a long time, I had to sit and be still.
That's so hard to do.
It is.
It's not that easy.
Just sitting and being still, and no phone, no nothing, just being still. Because for me, when I'm running, I'm usually listening to podcasts. So I'm learning, and I need my brain needs that pause.
Mm-hmm.
And that isn't all my playtime. I mean, my playtime is my running. My playtime is hiking with my daughter. My playtime is going to concerts. And I have been very diligent lately about not working weekends. There's times when I'll take a Sunday evening, and that's when I do my planning for the rest of the week. And, depending on the week and depending on what's going on. And I just realized, I didn't really take that much vacation because I'm in a transition in my business. And I think we might be in a similar space. I'm very much in revenue generating activity.
Yeah. We're in like the end of the year wrap up mode. Like you're scared to take that fun time, but the holidays are coming.
Yeah. And I have a birthday coming up next week, and I have nothing on the calendar. And I just said, okay, I'm going to block it off and I'm going to go play. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I am going to go play.
I really think calendar blocking is such a great way if you actually follow your calendar. And when I follow my calendar, like I stopped doing this, biggest mistake in my life. I always have the digital calendar. I need that written one that I'm staring at saying, do this when you're supposed to do it. And I don't do that anymore. And I can tell when I'm failing and I'm going to call it's a failure to myself, not anyone else, but I'm going to ignore that calendar block time because guess what? I'm not having to look at it.
I found I had to change up the words that I was using because for a long time I would say, I'm going to obey my calendar. Mm-hmm. And that word obey just doesn't jive with my being. So I create a plan. Every week I create a plan and I block time on my calendar for all different things. I block time on my calendar for the time I'm going to turn off my phone and what I'm going to do during that time in the evening. And so now I'm going to follow my plan. I'm going to work, I'm going to follow my plan. It's my plan for my day.
I feel like we're over talking. So jump in if you need to, otherwise listen.
Being the witness of the whole.
She's like, I'm planning it in my head. I know what I'm going to say.
No, everything is hard when you do it for the first time. Right? Unless something happens and you're like, oh, what was that? How do I do that again?
Yeah.
If you're walking into a journey that you've never done before, I've replaced the word hard with new. Mm-hmm. So getting still isn't hard, it's new.
Yeah.
And it's totally off the grid of what we're expected to do in the societal norm. Mm-hmm. But if you don't, the true answers don't come. Like you can learn all day long, but you're learning from someone else's inner voice coming out onto paper, which is tremendous, but we all have something to give.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like clients will not drink water. So I'll have them put a phone alarm. And they put the phone alarm on 3 times like they would snooze. So if they ignore it the first 2 times, it's finally that 3rd time is bringing them back out of those 2 voices in the head that are constantly traumatizing our lives because we're splitting our energy.
Yeah, and our brain is trained to stay in the cave. We have two parts of our brain, the reptilian brain and the prefrontal cortex. And our prefrontal cortex, we need that. That's going to create the plan. But if we're in a habit of not obeying our calendar or not following our plan or not putting play into our calendar or not having any still time, then that habit is ingrained in that primitive brain. And that's our way of staying in the cave. Don't go out, don't change. Our brain wants to be efficient. It wants to only do what it's always done. And so when we do something new, it is challenging. It might be challenging.
I'm going to flip the script on this a little bit. What about if you spend your whole night watching Netflix, playing Candy Crush, catching up on every episode of
That's
Food Network
effort.
that you
It
missed.
depends.
So people, what if they're playing too much but not recognizing like you're wasting a ton of time?
That's
Maybe,
not play.
but
That's a
maybe,
num-
it's,
that's
but
numbing
maybe
out.
they
That's
think
numbing
it's
out.
their play.
That's
You
numbing
know
out.
what
Yeah,
I
it's
mean?
like self-care isn't
Yeah.
going to the spa. Self-care is giving up the donut for love.
Yeah,
Like it's so foreign for people to love themselves.
it really is.
Like playing is loving yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just wanted to throw that out there because some
That's
people make like, well, I
huge.
play all day. Really, it's a time suck. It's maybe not.
It's buffering against.
It's not bringing you some extra joy or socialization that you might
Yeah, it's just numbing
need or
habit.
lack.
It's a numbing habit, and it's buffering against something that you're avoiding.
Yep.
So,
Amazing.
as always, John is here running everything behind the scenes and making sure we all look good. John, do we have any comments in the chat?
True words. We've we've got Milwaukee APA joining us. Amanda Highcock, I think, is joining us. My screen is frozen on my computer, so I can't get any further, you guys. I'm trying.
True words, yes. Very true. All right.
We are, oh, sorry. I don't know what
Thanks
this
for
is for.
joining us. And now we're off to the special segment with Heike Heyman.
Hey, Mom.
Welcome to another edition of Heike's LinkedIn Insights. I help entrepreneurs and career changers take their LinkedIn profile from blah to magnetic. Today, let's go over some tips for the section on your profile called licenses and certifications. Obviously, you want to list any licenses or certifications that apply to your current role in industry. Make sure you keep those up to date. But a lot of people ask me, should I keep ones from a previous career that maybe I'm no longer in? And the answer, in my view, is yes. You want to keep those licenses and certifications on your profile because they give you credibility. And LinkedIn being a search engine, you might be found by people that are looking for someone who has your combination of experiences. So let's say you went from being a sales rep who is an expert in the Salesforce software to becoming a coach. Well, somebody who is in sales might be looking for a coach that also has Salesforce experience. So don't eliminate your old certifications from your profile. They can actually bring you new connections, new clients. So make sure you include the current and the old certifications. And remember to reach out to me and connect with me on LinkedIn, especially if you have any questions. I'm happy to help.
We all love learning so much more about LinkedIn. Thank you, Heike, for the great tips to help us improve our social media presence. We are going to welcome our first guest, Stephanie Oxley.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for letting me be here today.
Absolutely. From funeral directing to environmental sciences and from civic advocate to youth program volunteer, Stephanie feels like she's done it all. Inspired by her friends in the Pool League from Kansas City, she's now dedicated to creating a community of hobbyists right here in Milwaukee who just want to have fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Play.
So when you join Stephanie's Pool League, you will meet people and play pool. With all the American Pool Players Association, Stephanie is making a positive change with her players and the surrounding community. Welcome, Stephanie.
Yes, thank you for having me again. I appreciate it.
Super happy to have you. Before we find out what the American Pool Players Association does, we want to know your thoughts on the question of the day. I think we're going to have some good conversation about that. Now, do you schedule enough play into your week, month, year?
Honestly, I think that was one of the hardest things. When you come into being a new business owner, you're really kind of focused on the hustle and grind. And you're really trying to close a lot of knowledge gaps, wear a lot of different hats, especially as a small business owner. So yeah, that was definitely a learning curve for me, is just like utilizing that calendar schedule. And like you say, be self-disciplined enough to say, this is my time. I'm choosing to dedicate to this.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else made my calendar for me. So choose it with purpose and make sure that you're doing those things that fill your cup so you can pour from the saucer.
Absolutely. So how do you add more fun to your schedule? Because I mean, like you're JOB sounds like a lot of fun.
Honestly, it really is. And so also the transition from being a recreational player to becoming a business owner, kind of an event coordinator, business advocate, marketer, all of those things really has kind of put things into perspective for what the league operators all across the nation have been providing for their players. So I always try to at least take a little pause in an opportunity to get to know my players, and especially the new people, play a couple of games with them and such. And especially when I'm doing one-to-ones with other business owners to see what kind of things they need to advocate for their business. Let's do it at a pool hall. Come and play on the felt. Why not have some fun together?
I think that's great. Why don't you tell us, before we move on, just a little bit about what the American Pool Player Association does, who they are, and how you became a part of it.
So the American Pool Player Association is a amateur pool league played all across the globe from Canada to the United States. They definitely cater to beginner players. There's a lot of other sanctioned leagues out there that definitely help more master skill levels, advance their skills, and have more regional and national competitions. But what I appreciate about the American Pool Players Association is that they really focus on bringing a community of people together, really kind of focus on that have fun, play pool, meet people, bring it all together in one location. So
I think I love it. Like, you don't have to be pro. I love that it's amateur as well.
Absolutely. We talk about the two different caveats that we have in order to be a new player with our league is, can you have fun and can you be a good sport? That's all you need to know, because the rest of it's very teachable.
Amazing.
Yeah, number 2 is a little hard when people get into sports. I've never been competitive.
Yeah.
I know that's hard to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been competitive. And I just look at those people and I'm like, okay. So why would I join the pool league instead of like staying at home watching Netflix?
Oh, yeah. So let's face it, life just kind of gets in the way, right? And I certainly appreciate how the screen time can definitely help us maybe decompress a little bit, or just kind of get to that mind numb when maybe the hamster on the wheel has been kind of like running on overtime, right? But certainly the community that comes together with the American Pool Players Association and Playing League means that you get to meet people, you get to support people, you have people that are supporting you. Frankly, in my experience, it really kind of just started off as a girls' night out. You know, I was like, man, I'm working at one point. Our household had 5 different sources of income, just trying to make the bills. Right. So I said, man, I'm going to calendar it. And this is going to be my one night a week where I want to make sure that I get out with my friends. I'm connecting. I'm making sure I'm staying on top of what things are going on in their life. They're knowing what's going on in my life, all while playing pool and working as a team to advance towards playoffs and annual tournaments and national tournaments and things like that.
You're not meeting people watching Netflix.
Yeah.
It's not happening. I love it. So I don't think I'm good at pool. I know how to hold a pool stick. Am I good enough to play in the league?
Absolutely. Anybody is good enough to play in pool. It is probably one of the most adaptable sports that we have. In fact, I've seen anybody from the age 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 88, 98, 108 be able to play. I've seen people, wheelchair users, amputees, partial amputees, people with other deficits like stroke and things like that, being able to adapt to playing on the pool table and working towards their team's purpose.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So why play with the APA and not another sanctioned league?
That's a good question. So obviously we definitely support all the other sanctioned leagues across the United States. But again, APA really just kind of provides that opportunity to be mentored, have that team collaborative experience. Although I can't speak to any experience with other sanctioned leagues, I know mine really has just been the most supportive. I've seen people make friends there, start dating each other. Then next thing you know, we're getting engagement notices and wedding notices and baby notices, and then celebrating their baby's birthdays. So beyond just being able to advance your skills, master skill level players, they can come in, they can even stretch their leadership skills and being able to coach, counsel, and train kind of that next generation of hobbyists in our group too. I mean, it's such a multifaceted organization. So no matter how beginner or amateur you are to how very mastered you are with your skills, there's a place with APA. And I'm not quite sure that I'm seeing that with any other sanctioned league. So I definitely encourage anybody to join, no matter how much experience you've had with pool.
I think the point that you drove in with that is you're making sure that that's that's happening. And it may not happen, but that's really kind of a part of your mission, is to make sure that that happens for others, right?
Absolutely. In fact, the American Pool Player Association says everybody can play and anybody can win. And we definitely stick to that through our actions.
I love that. What is one tip that you know will change another business when they implement it?
Oh, when they implement APA? Okay, so let me speak to the pub, the tavern, the restaurant owners. Are you a fraternity owner, a bowling alley owner? If you're an organization that has space and loves to bring people together, either over food and beverage and hospitality, if you have space for a pool table or already have a pool table, I'd love to talk to you, because we're actually out in the community, my husband and I, looking to help people connect with each other and drive business into your doors. So.
That's amazing. I mean, I run a few different networking groups, and I think that that's just, no matter what, you're bringing people together, whether it's personal reasons. I'm sure you might be seeing some businesses collaborate together, and it's just all bringing people together. And I think that's beautiful.
Absolutely. In fact, I'd like to take this opportunity to talk about the River West community. We've recently had Falcon Bowl, who's just recently changed ownership this year, come back to us. They are a multi-generation bowling alley owner, or keystone of that River West community. And the new owners reached out to us and said, hey, we want an opportunity to bring that community feel back into our doors and just kind of really drive opportunities for people to come together and have fun. I said, absolutely. If you get a chance to go and visit it, it's super cute. I think I go down the stairs, I'm like teleported into the 1970s, and it's absolutely pristine. Of course, the Uptowner in River West as well has engaged us and said, gosh, we'd really love to be a part of that traveling division starting up here in January. So if you're a business owner in the River West area, really hope that you'll connect with us, Milwaukee APA, and see what we can do to have your business be included in that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Finding time for fun. It's so necessary.
Absolutely.
Every small business's schedule.
I agree.
Thanks for joining us today, Stephanie.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
We do have a few things in the chat that I just want to throw out. Amanda says, that's our girl, way to go. They're proud of you. Bethany says, APA has completely shifted the trajectory of my life for the better. I've developed lifelong, meaningful relationships with fellow players. Great point. And Amanda also wants to know, Stephanie, is there a goal you have for the next year?
Oh gosh, yes. So obviously we want to meet kind of our first milestone is to get 20 teams all across Milwaukee County. But then our next biggest milestone is to get 200 teams in Milwaukee County, so that we can kind of expand that into surrounding counties across the Southeast Wisconsin area. Of course, I'd be remiss without a big shout out to Angel down in the Kenosha Racine area, who's already been doing this for us for the APA for a couple of years now. So if you're down in that quadrant of the Southeast Wisconsin and want other ways to play that's a little bit closer to you, please connect with her.
Amazing.
So do you have an offer or event coming up that you would like to offer?
Yeah, in fact, the Greenfield Chamber of Commerce, we're doing a happy hour tomorrow at Romine's High Pockets. They're on 27th in the Greenfield area, Little South Milwaukee area. So please, if you're a business owner or even just a friend that wants to check out what leagues might be looking like, or a business that wants to connect with other businesses in the area, I hope you're willing to come on out, enjoy a drink with us, maybe play a little time on the felt and connect with people that are just like you.
Super cool. We do have a page on our website for you, theconnectshow.com/Stephanie Oxley. Super amazing to have you on the show today.
Thank you. It's been great. Thanks.
We are going to move on to our second special small business segment of the day with Dottie.
Hello, everyone. Dottie Posto here. And what I'd like to share with you today, some of you have probably heard of the term quiet quitting. Well, I just read an article in the Milwaukee Business Journal that has a little bit different spin on it. And I was really shocked when I read it. It's called quiet cutting. And this is where an organization will demote someone or take projects away from someone or reduce some of the work that they're doing in the hopes that they will quit. And this is without giving that person the feedback that they're not performing to the level that, the organization really wants or needs them to. And I just don't agree with this. I think that the biggest thing that an organization can do, one of the most critical things an organization needs to do, and this is if you are a 5-person organization, a 2-person organization, or 1,000-person organization, is make sure you have a strong feedback loop, a strong methodology for feedback. Making sure that you have ways for employees to hear what it is that's going well, the constructive, the positive and affirming feedback on a regular basis, as well as the constructive feedback of ways that they can actually improve, ways that they can do things better. This is so critical, so important. And we want to make sure that employees understand. We talked today about having fun. When your employees are being demoted or they're getting projects taken away, they're not having fun. And maybe they're not even having fun. Maybe they're not in the right role. Maybe there's a different role that would be much more suited to their type of work. Or maybe you could actually even help them find something that's more beneficial for them in another organization versus demoting them and taking projects away. So my note for you today is to really look at how can you create a culture of feedback, both affirming feedback as well as constructive feedback. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be talking a little bit more about this on Thursday at 9:30. I'll be doing a LinkedIn Live and live on YouTube. So join me then Thursday at 9:30 if you want to talk a little bit more about this, or if you have questions, send them to me on LinkedIn and I will answer them in the live. Back.
Amazing. So today, thank you so much, Dottie. Dottie's going to head back up here. What we're going to do is we're just going to take a moment to shine on our volunteers for the day. So we often have multiple guests, but I thought, what a great opportunity to showcase different volunteers. John's still hiding out behind the scene, but we are really all volunteers. And so what I want to do is, if anyone wants to ask, we do have an overhead mic to also catch you. Some of the people we don't get to hear from very often. Chris is behind, he's behind the scenes all the time. You never get to see his face. You're a newer volunteer to the show. What is a reason that you decided you wanted to volunteer, and what are some of the benefits you've received?
So one of the reasons why I love to volunteer is I just enjoy being around people, and I enjoy hearing stories and, hearing the stories of all the small business owners and seeing, kind of like where they came from and what brought them to where they are. So that's kind of what brought me here. And, behind the scenes, I take a lot of pictures, do some videos here and there. And just really hearing, like I said, where people are and where they're trying to, and what they're trying to accomplish with their goals. That's kind of what brought me here and why I stay.
I just want to thank everyone so much. What is anyone that wants to jump in, give me one thing on why someone might want to volunteer for the Connect show, or what brought them in. We've had Heike on for months now, every single week. And when she was traveling the world, she pre-recorded her stuff so she could still give value to this community. So I love that. Thank you.
Well, I started out as an entrepreneur in 2013 and was looking for a community of other entrepreneurs. And then hearing all the advice that is shared, even in the casual conversation, but also from other business owners and what's helped them succeed. I find that really enjoyable. So that's one of the reasons I keep coming back, and just plain because I believe in paying it forward. Mm-hmm. I've had people help me when I was starting out, and they weren't like charging me for every minute or every bit of advice. And I'm going to try to continue paying it forward to help other people in the same way.
Amazing.
Can I build on what you just said? For me, I think it's so important, and all of the business owners that I talk to say the same thing. Who is your supportive community? Who are the people around you, especially if you're a solo business owner?
Yes.
Who are the people around you who you can come in the morning and just say, wow, I'm having a bad day, or give a call to and say, I just had a win. And that's one of the things that the Connect show, I think, does for all of us, whether we're here in the studio or if we're watching online and we have an opportunity to talk in the chat, is it gives us that community that we need. Those people who care about us, who will listen to us and who will cheer for us when we need that, or kind of pick us up off the floor when we need somebody to help us out.
Amazing. Amazing. Anyone else have anything to pipe in? Cassandra, you look like you've got
I think
something.
for me, when you're a solo person in your practice too, what I don't hear is what else is in the community, and being part of this community helped me to see, boy, I have so many other resources to provide clients or other co-owners and stuff like that I didn't realize was in the community. So it's been wonderful for me to get to know people and get out there and try to talk and speak. It's not always comfortable for me, but I'm enjoying the growth that's happening here with everybody else.
Amazing. And I've been doing this since the beginning with John and Tracy. I started off doing a networking report. We moved it when we were on Zoom, and it was nice because we could share with others on Zoom, the different networking options, and it was giving marketing tips. And then we started just transitioning, moving into a bigger studio, and it's been so wonderful to watch our volunteers grow. And by the way, everybody, this isn't all of the volunteers. This is just who's in studio today. So I really just thought it was really important to highlight everybody. John is also still, like I said, volunteer. He's hanging out behind the scenes. But I think we should share some pie with our volunteers. What do we think? Let's move on in. Thank you. Let's move on in. Yeah, come on and let's move on into our pie segment.
Oh no, pie overboard.
Pie overboard. The new pie segment is a brand new part to the Connect show, and today is the 6th episode. So 6 pies we've had, you guys. Holy cow!
Sweet Connie's Cafe.
Right. PIE stands for Partners in Excellence, and every week we will eat pie while spending time with excellent partners. We know everyone wants to have a piece of that pie, so don't miss these amazing new segments. And if you want to share in on the pie, you got to be a guest or something else. Where is our guest? We know she'd like some pie. There she is. There she is. Hello.
It's like you called my name.
I know. Today for our pie segment, we have with us Mary Balistreri. She has her business called MBT, More Business Today, but she is also a guest host on the show. Lots of great things going on. Mary, tell us about events that you have coming up, that you host, and how long have you been doing the events?
So as the mindful business coach of MBT More Business Today, one of the things I'm really passionate about is women in business. And so a few years ago, I was able to be on the networking segment that you brought up, right? I think, or a year ago, I don't know how long. There was no pie. I know there was no pie, but it was pre-pie.
This isn't even pie.
Yeah, this is like a little bit
Pudding,
like pudding. That's okay. I'm just so happy to be here for pie or pudding. But I started and I founded the Wisconsin chapter of something called the National Association of Women Business Owners. So it's a national group. Wisconsin did not have a chapter, and I am really passionate about women in business. So, and it's called NAWBO, NAWBO. And here what we do in Wisconsin is it connects women in business. We meet once a month. And during those meetings, sometimes it's literally just networking, but we very quickly bonded and became a real sisterhood. And so we're into the end of our, I guess it's been 2.5 years already. And we continue to grow. And something that we're doing, I have to put my glasses on to make sure that I don't miss anybody on this list.
All right.
But something that we're doing next Tuesday, November 14th from 4:30 till 6:30 p.m. And it's going to be at Summit Credit Union. It's the one on Greenfield Avenue, 10015 West Greenfield. And it's the second in our series of business readiness for 2024. We have a panel that's going to be talking. Denise Pachuca, who's from BMO, we'll be talking about your finances for next year. Tamara Burkett, whose company is called TGB, is going to be talking about technology. What do you need to know? And AI, what should you be doing in your business for next year? Lisa Smith of Smith Company is going to be talking about sales, getting yourself set up so that you're ready. Cheryl McMurtry, who was one of the founding members with me of NAWBO, Wisconsin, she has a company called McMurtry Financial Services, but she's going to be talking about that importance of building community. And then after the panel, I'm going to have a very, very brief workshop talking about, now that we have all of these ideas out there and everybody's writing down, what are you going to do for next year? I'm going to talk about, let's bring it all together and really map who is that supportive community for you for next year. Because as a woman business owner, we have found that that is one of the most important things. So I know that Heike just told me that she's going to be attending. We expect to have 25 to 30 people in attendance for that. And if you can't make it to that, we have one other thing that I just want to make a plug for, if it's okay with everybody.
Absolutely.
So we in NAWBO, Wisconsin are very passionate about giving back to the community. And we have a service project every year. This year, our service project is a textile drive. And the textile drive, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, you can meet up with us. We're going to have a big truck in a parking lot. There's a company called Milwaukee Recycling.
Mm-hmm.
And so go through your house, old blankets, old clothes, washcloths, bedding, anything that's a textile. Anything that's a textile. You're just going to throw this to John. Bag it on up, bring it on over, and all of those items will either be recycled into something else or given to organizations that are like the Rescue Mission, all of those kinds of organizations, if they're in good enough shape for people to use. So we have those two things going on. All you need to do is contact us at NAWBO Milwaukee, that's NAWBOMKE @gmail.com.
That is absolutely beautiful. I love what you're doing for
you.
women in the community and expanding that national reach right here in Milwaukee. So thank you so much for that.
And look at the pie.
Everybody needs
Let
some
them
pie.
Wow. Take my glasses off for that.
Okay, so we have
Join us next week for our show for some pie, more pie, and some amazing business owners featuring Elias. Why can't I like that? That would be obvious. Roar. And Nicole Polito, making sure you structure your business properly and protect it and yourself while getting executive coaching to make yourself the best CEO ever.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on our show today. Please help our community grow by reaching out and inviting one person who you feel will benefit from being a part of our journey. Please like and subscribe if you are on social. This little act goes a long way in our reach. And if you like something you saw, please comment. We will see you next week.
bye, everybody.
Bye. Yay, good job. Thank God for the sugar. I was over to crash. Me too.
Ooh.